just prior to this, a couple weeks prior to this, you had called your sister-in-law and told her that you'd given her equal, did you not? Valid.
I don't remember that, so.
Okay.
I remember
Did
confronting Scott
was the detective?
about this night
Say-
road.
I'm sorry.
Wait, want to ask it again?
I remember, sorry.
Ask the question again, Mr. Rohrer.
Okay. And I'll get to what you wanted to say then. I take it your Valerie came in and talked to them and told the detectives that they would know that, correct?
Correct.
So your Valerie told them that you said you used equal on Ina. They wouldn't be lying, would they?
I won't lie.
Okay. So when you came in, when did you decide on 5/31 to tell the truth?
Guilty conscience.
Okay. You said that's why. When did you tell them? Did you tell them after you were there for a while?
Not very long after I went in and they started asking me questions.
And I believe your story has pretty much remained the same. No, we'll go with that. It's been a little different. But as far as to Scott, I don't believe you've ever said Scott gave Ina and equal except for 2 times that you know of. That's always been your story. It still remains your story. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I believe right prior to you coming into court and offering a guilty plea, about a month and a half ago, that you had another conversation on February 14th
Yes, sir.
with your attorney and with the investigator Van Dickel and Detective Corey Turner. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was at the sheriff's office,
Yes, sir, it was.
correct? It was just you and those 3, correct?
Yes, sir, it was.
Did you know prior to going in there why you were there? And your attorney told you you're there to give some more information so you can get a good deal.
At first, no, I didn't. I just thought it was going to be a simple talk with my attorney
Okay.
about the case. I didn't realize that it was going to be,
So you were surprised
yes.
by another interview.
Yes, sir, I was.
And that interview went over 2 hours, did it not? Does
Yes,
that sound
sir.
right?
Sound about right, yes.
And they broke 3 times during that interview because either you were sobbing or they kept on telling you, you aren't telling the truth. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you recall either hearing from the detectives or your counsel that this is what you needed to do to save your relationship with Joel, your son?
I believe that's what it said, so.
And by the end of that interview with them, you came up with another story, did you not? That basically it was your husband's fault that you gave Ina's equal. That you were afraid of him, and that it was his fault that you never wanted to give Ina's equal. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir, I do recall that.
And by the time you gave that, which is about the last half hour of the 2-hour interview, you were scared, weren't you?
Yes.
How shortly after that interview did you come into the common pleas court? It was a Friday afternoon. How long after that did you come in and plead guilty to the child endangering charge?
Right after I went straight from the sheriff's after that to common pleas court pled guilty, which I didn't exactly realize that's what all this was gonna happen, all this quickly. And then I went straight from pleading guilty to jail.
Was that your understanding that that's what would happen?
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
So 2:14 of 14, when you talked again, you still said it's a Z quote, but it's basically Scott's fault. Did you feel good about that?
No. I believe it was all.
What did you believe would happen to you if you did not tell them that Scott was controlling you, that it was his fault that you gave Ina Z quote?
That I'd still be going to jail, that I would end our relationship, that I would lose my son.
And since we're not in a jury, this may be objected to, I don't think it will be, but you understood, did you not, the involuntary manslaughter charge that you got dismissed carried with it a potential of 11 years in the Ohio State Penitentiary?
Yes, sir.
And you got 90 days, correct?
Correct.